able-bodied men. Share with you what's going on. Seeing it.
Practice, know what I mean?
Practice what?
Regrouping. Another video. Because I'm still aggravated on what I want to talk about. I mean, I want to go back and talk about Mark Robinson and what led us to here. And then again, I want to talk about why in the hell does law enforcement have a right to police us at all when this is going on? These people ain't on the borders once they leave the borders. They're in their cities.
Oh, yeah.
And when they're in their cities, law enforcement ignores them and polices us. And you know what I'm talking about. We was forced out of our businesses.
Yeah.
2 of them, not 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 if you count the construction work.
Yeah, 4 if you want to count the vending.
Well, yeah, because now they take it, well, 5 if you count the, well, not our business, but the homeless people's business. But
What is the homeless people's business?
You know, the women up there bumming money while their husbands are on the construction jobs. They're like the girl up there at Lowe's standing out in the parking lot at 8:30 in the morning, 30 degrees with her youngin',
Yeah.
if that's her youngin'.
A baby.
I don't see a mother standing out there with kids like that.
No.
We know for a fact that she don't need help. She's got it. She's already off the border.
Oh, she's she's an illegal immigrant coming over here. She's definitely got money.
Yeah, she don't need no. She don't need to
rolling
stand
out the
up.
red carpet for these illegal immigrants.
But like this in here, this invasion continues in Arizona. Not one single woman or child.
No.
Thousands of men, middle-aged fighting men.
Yep. That's what's coming, people. They're coming to every city, every county, and every state in the United States, thanks to Biden administration.
Bidenomics.
It's a sad day, but if you'll notice, recruitment in our military is down. You want to know why? Because our military went woke, and these kids growing up today, they don't want to join the military where you have to use pronouns to say a boy or a girl, because that's the only 2 genders that there are in this world, regardless of species. It's a boy or a girl, except for
Liberals.
the mules. I think they're hermaphrodites. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it's a crying shame because you see how many people that's in these cities standing up for Hamas.
Yeah.
And then you look at
They
what
don't
they're
even
allowing
have a
across their
clue.
borders.
Yeah.
These are not conservative or wannabe American citizens that's just looking to better their lives.
Mm-mm.
They don't have no lives. They never had one. They don't care. These are middle-aged fighting men that's been raised to fight. That's all they know.
Yep.
And they're coming over here to do just that. And
our border patrol's letting them in.
the law
Our law
enforcement's protecting them.
enforcement is protecting them and won't do anything to them breaking the laws in the cities.
Now we're
They're
gonna prove
letting them
this.
go
We're
while
gonna
they police us.
yeah, we're gonna prove this by going to the cities and seeing how many law enforcement want to show up and police us while they allowing the illegal immigrants to stand there and work and drive trucks with no driver's license and no insurance and just whatever laws they want to break, they get to break.
Yeah.
I mean,
Illegal's illegal. They're over here on our job sites taking American people's jobs. And yet there's some cities that are demanding $25 an hour minimum wage for workers. I mean, get real, people. This has gotten insane in this country. Insane.
well, you know, it's kind of like we got shut out of our businesses. We got targeted for putting up campaign signs. But what did we see today? All on the corner of the road. All signs for roofing companies, pressure washing companies, debris removal companies, tree services, all in Spanish. About every bit of them was in Spanish. Most of them are Spanish-owned companies now. They're not signs out for American businesses. The illegal immigrants own the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to prove that too. That's an easy way to prove. Yeah. I get aggravated. I'm real choked up right here, right now.
Oh.
Like to cough, choking,
Oh.
trying to keep from coughing.
Well, I will say I've been working heavy and hard on campaigning against Mark Robinson. And he's the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina. And he promised me 3 times in one night when I did a redress of grievance in front of 300 other Republicans, judges, lawyers, DAs, assistant DAs,
Politicians.
yeah, politicians, did a redress of grievance for us being harassed by politicians and corruption in our courthouses. The judges, the lawyers can't stand up for you. But that being said, the reason is because we've had a lot of corruption happen with us in our county, and we love where we live. It's a beautiful country, and I think because we're trying to expose the corruption in our county, that doesn't give anybody the right to say that we should leave if we don't like it here. That just means that they're part of the problem and don't care to find a solution or care to know what's going on. Well, what's going on in the courthouses? What do we need to know? And
I can tell you a lot what's going on in them, because it was done to me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I used to want to keep everything that was done to me to myself. I didn't even want her to know everything that was done to me, but now I want everybody to know. Because if it's done to me and all I do is work and pay taxes, it can be done to anybody. When it's done to Donald Trump, now everybody knows it can be done to anybody. But
yeah, but people still don't want to see it. When I see a campaign sign and Mark Robinson's asking for donations, this is a man that is 55 years old. And has filed bankruptcy 3 times in his life. And let me tell you, I've been broke, I've been poor, I've been wondering where my next dollar was coming from. And living week to week and paycheck to paycheck all my life.
and let me tell y'all something too. This is a businesswoman. She don't just work by the hour. She knows what it's like to run a business.
Mm-hmm. And so he's filed 3 times bankruptcy and is now worth $4 million. I guess a lying politician, it's easy to make that kind of money. And that's why they take up for each other. That's why they are in their own little clique and groove all the way from law school on. For one, it only takes 6 months to get law enforcement training certification to where you get hired on a police force, and they don't even teach you the Constitution anymore. He's had his rights violated so many times since I've known him and been harassed by the police when we put out the campaign signs against an assistant district attorney that we think is corrupt, and he was running for judge. So we did it the legal way. We went and bought campaign signs and stuck them out and campaigned against this man, only to become a target by the district attorney in our county, having police sit around and follow us around watching. They had people from different little towns around here going and stealing our signs. The mother of the daughter that worked in the courthouse for the DA, she was out with her grandson stealing our signs, got caught with them, never went to jail, never even had to show up for court. But we had to show up for court. We had to do this. I did this redress of grievance because I'm sick and tired of what has become of our law enforcement in our courthouses, and you're supposed to respect these judges. I have absolutely no respect for judges anymore. None. They're dirty, they're corrupt, and they're the top of the chain wanting to lock people up. They're not there to help people anymore. The police aren't there to help people. The DAs aren't there to help people. It's all a money racket, and they all line their pockets with our dollars, and they don't care how they do it, how corrupt they are. They take up for each other in their little cesspool, and that's what it is. It's a cesspool of swamp creatures.
Hey, it's called organized mafiaism.
And I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of these politicians. The politicians send the cronies, which is the little police officers, out to do their dirty work. If they don't like it, then they're going to have you be the target of their corruption and let it cost you money, going to court, getting out of jail, going to jail.
Hiring lawyers that will not stand up for your rights.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that when they're taking your money. You got to literally wire hidden cameras in and pay them. And then they'll tell you, oh, well, I'll go in and talk for you, but I can't call out the corruption against you because I got to show my face up here. This is where I make my money at. I'm friends with the DAs. Or one of the best ones I heard yet. I got to worry about the state coming out to my law firm. They issue me my law license.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why somebody has to have permission from the government who goes around and targets all the people that they issue license to. I mean, it's amazing how many American businesses ain't American businesses no more. You know,
no, instead of having like the Italian mob coming after your business, you got law enforcement coming after it with badges on, saying, I don't need a permit to come in here. I don't need to have a membership to come in here. I got a badge. Let me see your books, and bully people around and are hateful. And I mean, small business people spend money getting their buildings prepared, to do the permits, file all the paperwork that they have to with their counties and everything else, to be bullied by a law enforcement agency that needs to be defunded and done away with.
We can get volunteers that'll do what law enforcement do. Even better, they will actually uphold the Constitution.
Yeah, why don't they just come in and treat the business owner with a little bit of respect? Because if they didn't have that badge and their gun and their little title, they would be absolutely nobody.
Well, they shouldn't be allowed to come in your business, period, unless you invite them.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a right to go in a police station with guns and badges and 25 different people and start rumbling through their shit, asking them to see their papers and let's audit their books and see how much money they spent on chief of police's eating out. And it's come to the point to where I'm going to tell everybody what was done to me. I was illegally prosecuted, set up, maliciously targeted, forced out of 2 businesses, illegally incarcerated, left laying in the floor having seizures, all because the sheriff would not uphold my Constitution. The sheriff I voted for. And I blame lawyers just as much because I hired them to expose the corruption. Got them all on videotape saying they ain't going to do it or they can't. And that's what led to the redress of grievance called read to Mark Robinson, which led to the veterans being robbed, her mother being robbed. And I'm with her. It's time the American people just get pissed off and stand up. I mean that in a different way. I mean by calling out politicians.
We have to hold them accountable, all of them, regardless, Republican, Democrat, Independent, no matter what you believe. We all have human rights, we have constitutional rights, and these politicians and law enforcement and corrupt courthouses tend to forget that and think that we belong to them and that we're their people, and we're not. They're our people.
Well, they're the mafia.
I know. And I'm really just aggravated at Mark Robinson. The veterans establishment was robbed. I have all the videos. I have the video where I did the redress of grievance to him. I have the videos of the veterans being robbed. Also, not to mention them being robbed out of money that was theirs. They also went in and cut off their cameras, which is a constitutional violation. And then you want to know what tops it all off? Nobody ever went to court. Nothing was ever said about this. I texted Mark Robinson and said, look, I really need your help. This was 1 month after I did the redress of grievance. I said, I really, really need your help. I'm being targeted even more. They had a search warrant to search me, to search him, to search my car. I'm just a small vending lady. That's all I am. A small vending lady trying to pay my bills. And I did a redress of grievance to Mark Robinson, and if you don't know what that means, it's basically saying that you're not going to be illegally targeted by our politicians and illegal tactics by our government when we're not doing anything to break the law. Anyway, on top of that, the money that they stole from the veterans and from my mother went to Border Patrol, ICE, and Immigration. Never no court date, never no papers sent to the people that the money belonged to. They sent it to him, to the North Carolina Angry Patriot. That not one red penny of that money that they stole belonged to him. Not one red penny of that money belonged to me.
Can I say something here?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what pisses me off more than anything. These so-called dirty detectives supposed to be sitting around for 6 months investigating her in the Veterans of Foreign Wars establishment. Why they drove around 30 illegal immigrant businesses in a 10-block area.
Yeah.
But while they was doing that, my niece died of fentanyl that come from overseas, from China, across the borders. And these cops want to know why I hate them. She's laying in her coffin while y'all robbed the veterans. I hope y'all know that. You dirty son of bitches.
Because y'all rather police Americans than police the illegal immigrants. You violate American citizens' rights every single day while you ride by illegal immigrants and let them pass you by. Y'all police us. Why? Because you can sit there and intimidate, lie, make up crimes to get their information. Oh, God forbid you don't ID. Well, let me tell you something. Honey, in North Carolina, it's a no-show ID state. So there's a lot that people need to be reading up on the Constitution and figuring out what their rights are and look to see what's going on, because everybody's about to lose all their rights. So you better start figuring out how to fight for your freedoms.
Yeah, I kind of figure they're about too late for that.
But Mark Robinson, he lies. He, ask him about things that happened in 1989 that he preaches so highly against now. Because all this happened, and because he never contacted me, totally just ignored me from the time I did my redress agreements. And he liked me enough to let me go talk to him, and he let me get up on stage with him so I could tell him. He just didn't know I was up there to do my redress agreements. And he don't care about my First Amendment rights, so what makes him think about he's going to care about yours or anybody else's? He's not.
I mean, didn't they contact you and tell you that they was going to have a drawing when you won that rifle from him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they contacted you. That's how much they talked to you.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't read it in the paper. You didn't see it on Facebook.
I have text messages from him. He wanted my picture with it.
So he was all good with it until she
it.
read that letter of redress of grievance.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why then everything changed. Because his daughter is a stinking prosecutor. He couldn't stand up against the corruption that was being done to her, to me, because then he had to step on his daughter's toes, who uses the same dirty tactics to prosecute people she wants, with the judges that she wants, colluding with the police officers that she wants. And that's exactly why everything went the way it did with us. We didn't know his daughter was a prosecutor. Hell, if we did, we'd have never got in front of him and read that letter. We'd have known then that he was
wasn't going to matter.
Yeah, he wasn't going to do nothing for us.
Well, yeah, we would have had to find somebody else, another government official, to do our redress agreements too, and that might have actually turned out better for us and not got targeted as much, because after the veterans got robbed, then our landlord got targeted and was told that we needed to move and couldn't rent from him anymore, that we had been there for 8.5 years.
Never missed a month's rent.
Never had any problems
That
at all.
Law enforcement was never called there. But they showed up there after she read that letter of redress of grievance.
Yep.
Showed up and threatened to us.
And I have all the videos. I have him saying that. I have every bit of proof of every bit of things that we sit here and complain and bitch about. And it might not seem much to any of y'all, but it feels good getting it out here. And maybe somebody will listen and it's happened to them. And then maybe we can figure out something to do to help stop it from happening to anybody else.
Well, the first thing we need to do is band together as American patriots and take back our Constitution rights. Yeah. We're being invaded. I'm sitting here looking at a video of us being invaded by middle-aged men with no women, no children, nobody searching them, carrying all backpacks, nobody searching them.
In Lukeville, Arizona, not a single woman or child. They're on our buses, they're on our airplanes, and not to mention they've taken what is it? The air marshals. They've taken the air marshals off our airplanes and got them worrying about everybody. Every single person that was at January 6, 2021.
Another bus has arrived.
Split charities, folks. Oh, more coming out. Everyone's wearing masks. Going back one. Able-bodied men. Share with you what's going on. Seeing it.
In DC, it doesn't matter if you're there for a funeral, a wedding, you had a business meeting. So I'm guessing that they're going through everybody's credit card information, any hotel information, all that stuff is being given to the air marshals to investigate that. And now they're not on our planes, and illegal invaders are.
Now, like I said, that's why we need to band together, stand up, relieve law enforcement of their duties if they're not going to stand with the citizens. Start arresting illegal immigrants. Start with the construction jobs. They're not hard to find. I know people's going to say, oh, law enforcement ain't border patrol. These immigrants ain't on the border, so who cares? If the law enforcement don't want to do it, I'm calling on the American citizens to do it. Yeah, and I'm the one calling on them. Might not be nobody, but I'm still a patriot. And that's the only way we're ever going to have our rights back. Mark Robinson, people like him, they don't care about your Constitution. They care about theirs, their crony friends, their pension, their tax-free exempt for being a politician. But as far as your individual rights for yourself, he don't care about your rights no more than he did ours or the veterans. Now, he can say what he wants to. He can talk. And let me assure you, Mark, I've been watching Facebook, your post. I know you're talking all the stuff about how you've joined the Veterans Administration. Tell that to the ones that was robbed out of $100,000. Meet me at their place, and we'll have a news conference about why they was robbed and how they feel about losing $100 grand from a bunch of crony ass pigs that was sent there because you failed to do your Constitution duty and uphold her rights.
And on top of that, then turn around and send a certified check to Immigration, Border, and ICE.
I still can't get over the part that they sent me a letter, 2 letters.
2, one certified and one uncertified, to our mailbox.
They wanted me to claim the money, and I'm going to tell y'all why. Because if I'd accepted that money, if I'd have said that's my money, I want it back, or if I'd have showed up to fight for it, they'd have took every piece of property I own for tax evasion. It wasn't my money. I wasn't going to claim it. And I ain't stupid enough to leave $100,000 to somebody else's building.
Right.
I mean, I ain't saying I'm a very smart person or I'm the smartest person on earth, but I ain't as stupid as they are. They did a 6-month investigation, they said. We know better than that too. And they yet still say, I owned all the money. It was mine for me to claim it. Mm-hmm. So I figured the next video is we're going to go ahead and release the, what's it called? The document?
I don't know.
That's what we're talking about, is them sending me the letter.
So you're going to...
And we'll show it. Yeah, I figure next week.
The document?
Yeah. How else people going to know we're telling the truth if we don't show them?
Well, I'll tell you what.
I think the next segment should be on...
you should just talk and I'm going to run grab it. How about that?
That'll work.
Okay. I'll be back. I'm going to go get this document. I'll be right back.
In the meanwhile, I'm going to sit here and run my mouth. It makes me feel better when I get to talk about things that was done to me. When I say me, I mean us.
Oh, Lord, it's powering.
Well, then don't go. We'll get it next time. When I say we have all the evidence, I mean we have evidence people have no idea of. We secretly videotaped lawyers for 1.5 years while they was trying to force me to plead guilty to crimes that I was never supposed to be charged with. Some of them that was already dismissed in district court. They did an investigation to get people to sign statements. People refused to sign them. So they went back to a grand jury on their own written statements, re-indicted me on the exact same charges, just written out different, and forced me to be prosecuted with an unprepared lawyer. And yes, I was sent to jail. But, you know, it's not hard to do in Stanley County. I wasn't allowed to answer any questions that wasn't asked to me. I wasn't allowed to ask questions. My lawyer stated right off the bat, first thing in court, that he was unprepared to defend me due to an injury, eye injury. Judge's exact words was, I don't care, DA's ready to go, prosecute him anyway. So he used 2 DAs. One was the head DA that was relieved from the case due to conflict of interest. And he was the one that dismissed my charges to begin with in district court. The other one was the one they brung in because the first DA that dismissed my charges was dismissed from the trial due to conflict of interest, but yet he was the last DA that got to say something in my trial. I have more evidence than Donald Trump does of being illegally prosecuted. and I was prosecuted. When it come time to ask any questions, the judge made the jury leave the courtroom. Refused me the right to have the jury in the courtroom when I was supposed to have the right to cross-examine the witness that was testifying against me. He also took my right to stand with ground laws away from me because I was attacked on my own property. That's why. In my own business. Just like the time before and the time before that. And we have evidence to prove it. All right, we're going to go ahead and show you the document, I believe.
Yeah, I got it.
This is one of the letters, maybe both of them.
I think I just brought the certified one.
The certified one?
Yeah.
Okay, take it out and show it to them. This is the certified letter they sent me. Mark Robinson, if you ever see that, I want you to look at this letter. Because you dumber than they are if you think I'm stupid enough to leave $100,000 in somebody else's building. Nothing in my name. No company in my name.
This says, hold on, I put my glasses
Now,
on.
just so you can see,
Oh yeah, there's the
this
envelope.
is a certified letter from the post office or the sheriff's department.
No, it's from U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
I mean, who delivered it?
The mail.
Okay.
We had a Border Protection in Charlotte. Certified mail.
Why the hell do we have a Customs and Border Patrol agent in Charlotte? We got all these illegal immigrants running around?
This is, okay, I did my redress of grievance in March of 2021. The Veterans Establishment got robbed in April of 2021. And on May 17th, 2021, this is dated Notice of Seizure and Information to Claim It, CAFRA form. Certified or return receipt requested. Okay, so they took $80,000 and sent a cashier's check from the state. What is that? I forget the State Employee Credit Union. That's what it is. $80,510, and then they sent another cashier's check because that's what they stole out of the Veterans Establishment. The $80,510. There's the total amount they stole from them, and the $4,740 is what they stole from my mama out of her ATM machine, and sent that in a cashier's check from the State Employees Credit Union. Total value of $85,250 they robbed from a Veterans Establishment, and a little old lady dying of cancer, and sent it to Border Patrol and U.S. Customs and sent him the letter to claim it.
And I made a mistake when I said 100,000. Okay, roughly 90,000, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
But they still stole it. Nobody was ever charged for a crime. Nobody was ever found guilty of a crime. Mm-hmm. They are a thing called Fourth Amendment seizure. They don't have a right to seize nothing just because somebody says so.
Right.
But when law enforcement colludes with the politicians and the lawyers and the judges and thug gangs like ALE, IRS, any agency like that should be completely dismantled. ATF should be a convenience store. And this is what we're talking about when...
So we're fighting for the veterans and their money back, not Mark Robinson. Mark Robinson might be sitting there trying to say he is because he's an Army vet, but you see what Bergdahl was too, don't you? He was a traitor.
And see here, Mark Robinson, you won't be such a veterans person. Give them veterans their $80,500 some dollars back. Give this woman here, her dying mother, $5,000 back.
Yeah.
And then call yourself a hero or a politician or a patriot, I might add. Because you ain't no patriot. You far from a patriot. Patriots don't lie to their citizens who help them get elected. You do. And I challenge anybody that wants to meet and go over the evidence. And this ain't even counting the videotapes of the lawyers that we hired. We got several law firms on videotape stating that we're being illegally prosecuted for personal favors. But after they took our money, they said they couldn't call them out because they got to show their faces in the courtrooms. And that all led up to me being illegally prosecuted by a judge who colluded with the prosecutors, 2 of them. One of them was dismissed from the case, but yet he was allowed to be the last one to say something other than the judge sentencing me to jail.
Yeah, if you're recused from a case, I don't think that you should be able to be in there and be the last one to be talking.
You ain't
If you're
supposed to
not
be in the
supposed to
courtroom.
be in there at all. It was against
Conflict of interest.
conflict of interest in our case, but yet he's the last one that gets up there and runs his mouth.
I asked anybody out there that watches this show or sees this video, how would you feel to be prosecuted on charges that was dismissed in district court by a DA who was relieved from the case, and your lawyer state first thing that I am not prepared to defend my client due to an eye injury?
Yep.
My lawyer never met with me and my wife to discuss my case, but yet I was forced to be tried with him as my representative lawyer, who never went over my case, who never met with me and my wife to discuss my case, who never subpoenaed none of my evidence, none of my witnesses, never talked to none of my witnesses.
He wanted me to go out. He had his secretary or whoever it is to draw up the papers and sent them to me, emailed them to me, wanting me to go out and subpoena the witnesses, our witnesses.
That was the day of my trial.
Instead of a server. Oh yeah, first
that
morning.
Yeah, that was the day of my trial started. And we wasn't allowed to be around the people that they was wanting us to deliver the subpoenas to. That was the people I had conflict with that took me to court. By law in North Carolina, you can't go around the people who took warrants on you. It is a felony. So I wasn't even allowed to deliver the warrants or the subpoenas. But my lawyer didn't do it. Nobody else did it. So therefore I got tried with no lawyer on charges that was dismissed in district court by DAs who was relieved from the case due to conflict of interest and incarcerated. All my rights were pulled during the trial. I wasn't allowed to use stand your ground laws of self-defense. The jury was removed from the case in the re-questioning, when it was my turn to question the person who was testifying against me.
Oh, well, we wasn't allowed to say that they tried to blackmail a temp because the guy tried to say his dick was broke.
No. So this head broke dick prosecutor was allowed to stay in the courtroom even though he was relieved from the court duty. I mean, from the case. Long story short, people, I was illegally prosecuted, set up, my property stolen, and imprisoned by a corrupt system that we caught all on videotape. From the lawyers to the chief of police, to the politicians, to the judges. But yet we can't get no one, even politicians that we helped get elected like Mark Robinson, to stand beside of us and just show the evidence. Nobody asked Mark Robinson to go jump on nobody. Nobody asked him to go fire nobody.
No, I just asked him to look at it and help me.
That's it. Do what you swore to do, Mark Robinson, for this woman that helped you get elected. Uphold the damn Constitution and stand beside of her and expose the corruption. I know your daughter's a prosecutor, but I don't give a shit. If she's doing corrupt shit, expose her.
Yeah.
But you're going to be exposed. This evidence, starting as of this week, is going to keep being showed. The court transcripts, the videotapes. Hell, I'm going to expose their addresses, their names, who they were. I don't care.
I just want to know, I mean, out of everything, and anybody want to sit there and talk about how Mark Robinson didn't lie. Well, yeah, he did. And the thing is he promised me 3 times that night that he would look into my evidence that I had. Not once did he call me back. Not once did his office return a single phone call. Not once did he text me back when I let him know about the veterans being robbed. But all he really had to do was listen to what we had and look at what we had and say, hey, I may not be able to help you, but here's somebody that may. That was it.
He couldn't do that.
He couldn't even do that.
Well, his daughter's a prosecutor. She does the
He's
same
a liar.
dirty shit.
Well, I'm guessing that probably runs in the family because that's what politicians do is lie. And if she's a prosecutor, that's all she is a politician.
Yeah, she's just an over high price paid lawyer that lies worse than a regular lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so they want you in their system, and they wanna take your money. And God forbid you try to expose their corruption. They're gonna use all their little forces that they have to disrupt your life and try to bankrupt you, to shut you up, so that nobody else understands or hears what the corruption is. You might sit there and go, oh, well, Lynn Clodfelter is such a great DA. He is such an upstanding person. No, he's not. He's not at all. He is the head corrupter in our county. The very head corrupter. He's the one that let this lady off for stealing our signs, told them not to arrest her. Why? Because yeah, he's the one that sent him out there to do it. Doing his friend a favor, his little meme, or mini Lynn, Ty Bang, running for judge. You know, Lynn was his protege, I'm guessing. So he was taking up for him and helping him out. Like, we're going to get these signs. We're not going to let this happen. But you know what, Ty Bang? I also have heard from other people in other counties that you've been targeting them too. So this could be a class action lawsuit if you keep up your corruption, because a lot of people are coming out and talking about it.
Well, he's a dirty prosecutor. Now he's a dirty judge.
Yeah, he was a dirty prosecutor. Now he's a dirty judge.
He tried to force me to plead guilty to felony charges for defending myself after I was attacked and shot at 13 times in my driveway. How many people has he already sent to prison now?
Right.
That was innocent, that he knew was innocent.
Yeah.
He's a tyrant traitor is what he is. I got no use for none of them, and I aim to expose them all. And the American people, I mean, you stand with Donald Trump. We've been done way worse than Donald Trump as of right now. The only difference is we don't have billions of dollars to fight them by ourselves. I mean, I've already been tried. I was illegally prosecuted, in prison, left laying in the floor having seizures.
Them not giving you your medicine.
For 30 days, I was just left laying in the floor. I didn't get a bunk to sleep on. I didn't get to go in the cells with the other inmates. No, I stayed in the holding cell, right in front of every guard, every jailer. For 30 days straight, I laid on a concrete floor with a 1-inch mat.
And when his
for charges that was dismissed in district court, I might add, I keep forgetting to remind people.
Yeah.
And that was the exact same charges that I was re-indicted on in front of a grand jury with falsified statements written out by the assistant DA. And we had copies of all the statements. We had copies of where the charges were dismissed. And we have all this. And in Stanley County, it don't mean nothing. And unless we can get the citizens to stand with us, it ain't gonna mean nothing. But I'm still gonna expose it. And by the way, now, since we started exposing this, we've had 2 unmarked SUVs pulling in our yard at late hours of the morning.
Early hours of the morning.
Yeah, early, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So now we've redone more alarm systems, more cameras. And we already had lots of cameras up, but we got more now. But our neighbor was one of them that told us, hey man, there was an SUV parked in your yard at 5 o'clock this morning. And they pulled out right after I come on my back porch. So we know what they're doing. We know they're following us. We know they're watching us. But it ain't gonna stop us.
They've had a tracker on my car.
If we went as far now as buying a lot of body cameras. We've got microphones, hidden audio and videos in our cars. We got backup cameras. So we're gonna make sure that whenever they start hitting us again, we're gonna definitely expose them even worse.
Well, they need to be exposed. They're corrupt. They need to be
I want them
out
in jail.
of our system and not be allowed to work with the public because they're corrupt. You want to be corrupt, go do your dirty little shit somewhere else and leave we the people alone and get out of our house, because it is our house, not yours. Y'all are not the boss of us.
But that judge gave me 30 days in jail knowing for a fact that I was being illegally prosecuted. I want him to spend 90 months in jail on a concrete floor. He should pull 30 days for every day I laid in there. He should be forced to eat slop shit food like I was. He should get it when everybody wants to give it to him, not when he feels like eating.
Not give him his medicine.
Yeah, if he's on any kind of medication, he shouldn't get it. I should be the one give it to him. I should be the one get to feed him. I should be the one that says when he takes a shower, he can go take a shit. I'm the one that they did this to. I know a lot of people that they say, well, he must have done something. I did. I did the same thing Donald Trump did. I called out the corruption in this county, and I was a target for it.
You defended yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't never went to nobody's house or nothing and jumped on them for no reason. Every time I've been charged or in jail for fighting or assault or anything, it's been here at my businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think you can't go to jail for defending yourself, especially in Stanley County. The sheriffs don't care about your rights. Make no mistake, you go vote for him all you want. He don't care about them. He is a corrupt piece of shit, just like the district attorneys are. And I hate cussing like this, but I'm starting to get aggravated.
I know, it really does. It makes you mad. It makes you mad thinking about all that we've been through, and this is why we decided to do this channel. Because it's not one of those things where you just say, oh, just move on and get over it.
I did that the first time.
And the second time, because that's what we did, and then after it repeatedly happens and your rights are being violated, you're becoming a target of the same system over and over, and we weren't breaking laws.
No, we obeyed them. We did everything they told us to do. They told us to do.
Exactly.
They waited 8 months while I remodeled this building, bring it up to code, put bathrooms in it, electrical, everything. Spent, I don't know, but a hell of a lot more than the guy that had it before me did. But my point is they waited 8 months till I got done with it. And then they targeted us after we got open. They couldn't come down there in the first month, second month, or the third month, hell, not even in the fourth month and say, hey, Mr. Pennington, you can't have this kind of business here. Yeah, you'll have to think about pitting something else. We actually had 2 businesses there. She's licensed photographer, takes pictures and all. So we had that there as well as another business. But they didn't care what kind of business. They didn't care. They wanted the property, and they took it. And they testified in court that the only reason they was doing it was to force me off, not to comply, force me off the property.
Out of that building.
Out of that building.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did.
It wasn't,
They sold it a year later for $100,000 and some more than what I paid for it.
yeah, it wasn't, was buying it for. They totally violated our contract on top of that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I didn't even get a hearing on when they was taking it.
mm-mm. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was something what you said anyway. Yeah. And we did everything the right way.
I'll never do that again, though. I promise the state of North Carolina, I don't care what kind of business I run, I'll never, ever, ever apply for another business license. It ain't up to you if I can provide for my family. It's up to me and the Constitution. So y'all learned that shit from me.
Yep. And we had opened a bar in the little town that had passed alcohol back in 2004, I think it was, and we opened, and they changed the rules and everything for it because they wanted an establishment in the little town. And so we had a nice little place. Everybody loved to come. We had a limo that would take people home, pick people up, bring them, let them have a good time, make sure they got home safely. We got targeted by the ALE every 4 to 6 weeks they were up there. So we ended up finally just getting tired of getting targeted by law enforcement and sold the bar to a politician.
Give it away.
Basically. And lo and behold, he got targeted once at the beginning. They tried writing me a ticket.
No, they were still targeting you. They didn't know we sold it to him. They thought it was you they was getting.
Yeah, that's true.
So they didn't have no
He's
choice but to do
proof.
something after they went in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they did.
they wrote me a ticket for not managing the bar, but we had done sold it. And
it wasn't yours to manage.
he got a ticket for something, I don't know. Anyway, he went and paid a lawyer $500 and said, "Well, I'll split my lawyer with you." And he said he'll take care of it yours too. I said, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna go in there for myself because I've done looked it up. There's absolutely
No
law against what I did. There's no slap on the wrist. There's no
not even a
absolutely
code for
nothing."
it.
And so mysteriously, when I get to court that day, my name is not on the docket at all. You're free to leave. It has totally disappeared. And but after that, this guy ran this bar for 2 years.
Almost 3 years.
And never had any problems with ALE, law enforcement coming in. Anything, you know why? Because he had law enforcement there playing poker with him every week.
He's a politician.
And he's a politician.
City councilman.
And they was allowed to sit there and have a poker table up in there. We weren't even allowed to have a deck of cards, much less a poker table. But he had a poker table a big poker table.
Let's back up just a little bit there too. Because, see, I bought this building from this politician and upgraded it. I put all the bathrooms in it, all the electrical, everything, got it up to code.
Got our business built up. We had a really good business going.
We spent, story short, he got it back for nothing. For nothing. Pennies on the dollar. I'm talking about really like 1 cent on every 1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, we give him the building, we sold him the equipment, get the building back because we knew we couldn't sell it to nobody else. We was right beside the police station. We was being shut down by law enforcement, targeted every 4 to 6 weeks. So everybody there knew it, so nobody was going to buy it except him. He wanted it back for a reason, and that was to run a gambling ring. And he run it for 3.5 years, or 2.5 years, something like that. Never once did ALE go in their door. Like she said, you ain't allowed to have a deck of cards in a bar. He had a 9-man poker table sitting in the front door. Thousands of dollars going across the table. And I know this because I played with him. I'm the one that shut him down.
I mean, I've literally have video games, bar tops, countertops that you sit on the counters and have all the different card games and games you can play on them while you're sitting there having a burger and a beer. And I am not allowed to have even solitaire, no hearts, no card games at all on any game that I have. I have a bowling game that has like Vegas bowling. You can't do the cards on it when you get a strike or a spare because you may gamble on that. But yeah, we got the lottery and...
You're not the politician, so you can't have nothing.
Yeah. Maybe I should run for something so I can throw up some bills that I like.
Yeah, you ought to run for governor against Mark Robinson and expose this dirty ass.
Probably could. I got a better household budget record than he does for sure. And I also have I haven't ever had an abortion because I'm pro-life and have been since let's see, probably since I was born because I went to church and knew that babies were a miracle from God. Yeah. So that's 2 things I have up on Mark Robinson. I work hard. I'm a very hard worker.
You're not worth $4 million yet.
Not yet, but hell, I could write a book. I mean,
you write one on how politicians lie to their citizens.
Yeah. How politicians are very corrupt.
How law enforcement rob veterans.
Speaking of that, I have to throw this out there about Marjorie Taylor Greene, because that just annoyed me, what you told me earlier. I've had this really bad.
I like Major Taylor Greene. I mean, I didn't vote for her, but I would have, what I was saying. I always thought she was a good person. But when I heard her say what she said today, kind of got to me.
Well, I was going to say, you know, I told you, like back when they were having the election, that she kind of really upset me with the response that she gave at the debate, because she wouldn't truly stand up for Trump like she did when she's out there at all the rallies. And I said, that's a little snakish move right there, girl. And I said, well,
I just got one question for
we
you.
weren't aware of her having a construction company, and that's where a lot of illegal immigrants are. So I'm just kind of wondering how many she's worked at her company.
Yeah, how many contracts, subcontractors or jobs have she given to illegal immigrants to keep from having to pay Americans what it's worth in order for them to be able to pay taxes and still have money left over when they get done working to feed their families, have gas to get back and forth the next week, have any kind of a personal life, maybe buy some hunting bullets to go hunting or something, you know. I am a construction worker. I know what it's like to be forced out of business. And when I say forced out, I mean forced because you're having to compete against illegal immigrants. And I found out today that she run a major construction company. I'm curious, Margie, how many jobs have you given to illegal immigrants? So you didn't have to match them taxes on Americans, or you didn't have to pay what it costs for an American to go out and do it.
Yeah. Well, it sure weren't helping American citizens that way, but.
And I mean, and you know, I'm not putting her down. I'm just curious. It's just a question I'm asking. Because I know how construction is. I've been in it all my life, since I was old enough to go to work. One of my first real jobs was roofing, toting shingles. And I learned a long time ago that Americans have no chance in this world, in the United States, as long as illegal immigrants have a right to take their jobs.
That's right.
And this is where we're going with this next, is we're going to find out how police officers want to use this excuse. Well, I'm not Border Patrol. Well, these illegal immigrants ain't on the borders once they come out of Arizona, once they come out of Texas. They're in the cities. Mm-hmm. And if law enforcement ain't going to police illegal immigrants, they have absolutely no damn right to police the American citizens. And I don't care if you're an American liberal or American right-wing Republican or whatever they want to call us, extremists. But if law enforcement ain't going to police illegal immigrants in these cities, they have no legal right to police us. That's called a two-tier justice system. And they're not allowed to run that by the Constitution. And here again, it comes to we the people to uphold that Constitution. Yeah. The government's already proven time and time and time again for the last 10 decades that they're not going to uphold it. They don't care.
Well, I mean, you look at Texas and Governor Abbott, and just like, you know, I was telling you the other day about him flying the illegal immigrants to Chicago. Yeah. What'd you say? He needs to take their asses back south.
I'll tell him exactly what he should have done. He should have took a hot branding iron and branded them, sent them back across the border, and make that the first warning. You come back across this border again, we're going to chop your foot off and send you back over there. And there won't be a third time when you come back over here. Because somehow, some way, they're not going to stop just because we ship them back across the border. They just turn around, come right back across the border, start collecting money, start getting welfare, food stamps, government housing. It has to be stopped. If they're not going to build a wall, do it another means. My suggestion is get rid of the politicians just bringing them in. Deport them first.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They don't need to be flown further in the country either. No. Governor Abbott.
Who the hell gives Abbott the right to take taxpaying money to rent an airplane?
Yeah, I mean, they're right there by you.
Well, they said, okay,
do a flyover.
Being Texas started seizing buses, we'll just fly them in airplanes. Okay, seize the damn airplanes. Did Abbott forget where the airport was at?
There's a lot down there in Texas.
But hey,
It's a
when
big
they fly
state.
in, seize the planes.
Yeah.
I mean, if I drive her to the bank to rob it, y'all seize me, the money, and her. If I'm caught in any kind of organized crime unit, they seize everything we own. Why not do them the same way? Oh, that's right. They're politicians. They're backed by the deep state.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting that. Not really, but yeah. We're gonna sign off. We're gonna.
Oh, hold up.
Sorry.
We need to say we hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. And
Hope you have a New Year's.
if we don't talk to you before long, hope you have a very happy New Year. Don't forget to check us out on our TikTok, Rumble, Instagram, X, Facebook, and Getter. We're all under North Carolina Angry Patriot. Our email address, if you need to get in touch with us and contact with us, is ncangrypatriot1776@gmail.com. And we would also like to give a shout out to Doggone Fishing, doggonefishingpettoy.com. Order yours today. Your pet will thank you for the
Ever.
longest time. Yep.
You will learn to spell fishing. You just mentioned the word fishing. And it's on. You're going to go fishing before the night's over. Or she's not going to leave you alone. One of the two.
We have extra toys. So you know, the fishing poles are absolutely wonderful. The toys you'll probably go through, as any pet owner knows. But if you keep it put away
Yeah,
and
just don't
only
let
pull
them
it
chew on
out
it.
when you play fishing, then it'll last a little bit longer. But we do have replacement toys. We have replacement lines on the website at doggonefishingpettoy.com. And so we hope you'll check them out and make your pet really happy.
And if you're any North Carolina citizen, or actually any other citizen anywhere else, and you're being done the way we've been done and being targeted, reach out to us. We'd like to hear your story, and any way possible, we'll help you out. We know what it's like being done this way. So if we can help you in any way, just reach out to us, send an email, a text message, and we'll contact you back as soon as we get it.
Yeah, because we're definitely going to be trying to go out and see what kind of transparency our government officials have. And
We're going to show the invasion of the cities.
yeah, we're definitely going to do that. I mean, it's sad. This is really sad. Like, I never thought that I'd see our country going to shit like this. But
Yeah. Well, this is another thing. If you can, you get a chance, send a comment. How many of y'all people think, how many patriots think that we should seize all trailer parks and all businesses that's operating with illegal immigrants? Housing developments, like I
apartment
say,
complexes.
yeah, if we commit a crime, I mean, I know people that's had their homes taken for growing one marijuana plant. Their homes they worked for 20 years, 30 years. And it be taken for one plant that high, 3 plants that high. I know people whose kids' banking accounts has been cleaned out. Now, don't get me wrong, they were breaking the law. They did have but should they seize their homes? They didn't have a field full. They didn't have a warehouse full. They had a marijuana plant on their back porch. But yet they lost their homes. So my point is, why can't we seize all these people's property? They're renting to illegal immigrants. They're catering to illegal immigrants. They're housing them, feeding them. The government's feeding them. They're taking all the jobs. My point is, if they're on a construction job and we roll up and there's one legal one and 200 illegal ones, we seize that construction job. Take it right then. Don't care what anybody says. But it's only we the people that can do this. The government's not going to do it. So, with that being said, y'all have a great New Year's. We'll be back with another video shortly. Sorry that we had to break in between these videos with Christmas.
Yeah.
But we had to figure out some paperwork and
We had a friend come in from Texas,
Yeah.
so she's visiting, and so that's been nice. We actually went gold mining, panning for gold at one of our local places. Of course, I didn't find any gold.
I still think he took your little piece of gold.
I think he did too. I had a flake, and then it got gone. But anyway. All right, well, if we don't see you before New Year, we hope everybody has a great New Year's Eve, and we'll see you at the beginning of 2024.
Yep, and love your families and love your pets, and y'all have a good New Year's.
Hug 'em extra tight.
Talk to you later, Mark Robinson.